Hello and welcome to Football Daily, where today we've made a team of some of football's most loyal players. You might notice some famous names missing from our list, but before you get too angry, check out our One Club Men video for Maldini, Gerrard, Giggs and many others. Goalkeeper, Sepp Maier. German Sepp Maier began playing for Bayern Munich's youth side at 14 and spent his entire career with the Bavarians, breaking into the first team at 18. At that point, Bayern were not the giants they are now, instead competing in the German second division, but Maier's life at the club saw them rise to the very top of the game. By the time he retired in 1980, Bayern had won 5 Bundesliga titles and 3 successive European Cups, while Maier himself had also picked up the European Championship and World Cup. Between 1966 and 1979, he didn't miss a single Bundesliga game, playing a record 442 in a row and earned 95 caps for West Germany. After retirement, Maier returned to Bayern as a goalkeeping coach and mentored the great Oliver Kahn, his heir between the sticks for club and country. It's no exaggeration to say that without Maier, the Bayern we know today might never have existed. Defender, Christian Panucci. A Champions League winner with AC Milan and Real Madrid, Christian Panucci makes our list not out of loyalty to a club, but to a manager. The defender started his career at Genoa, before Fabio Capello signed him for the Rossoneri, where he played in every position across the back line and won the Scudetto twice. When Capello left for Real Madrid in 1996, he took Panucci with him, with the right back becoming the first Italian to play for Los Blancos. Again, the pair were domestic champions, and after Capello was fired, Panucci picked up a second European crown, under Jupp Heynckes. Capello signed the player for a third time when he took over at Roma, and even when Panucci retired, he remained faithful to his boss, working as assistant manager to Capello with the Russian national team. Defender, Manolo Sanchis. During the 1980s, Real Madrid ruled Spanish football with a 5-man core known as El Quinto de la Butre, the Vultures cohort, after the nickname of star striker Emilio Butragueño. All 5 were graduates of the Madrid Academy, and sweeper Manolo Sanchis made more appearances than any other, with over 700 games for Los Blancos. The defender, whose father had also played for Madrid and won the European Cup, stood under 5'10", but made up for his lack of size with movement and anticipation. He won the Liga 8 times and the Champions League twice, captaining the side to continental glory in 1998 for the first time since his father's win in 1966. In his 18 years with Real, Sanchis survived 18 changes of manager and won titles in 3 different decades, an icon among icons at the Bernabeu. Defender, Marcel Jansen. In 2014, Arsenal's Lucas Podolski endeared himself to Gunners fans when he told them he'd rather retire than play for arch-rivals Spurs. But his lesser-known countryman, Marcel Jansen, actually went ahead and did it. The versatile German, who could play at centre-back, full-back, winger and even as a striker, what couldn't he do, came through Mönchengladbach's academy, before getting a move to Bayern at 22, where he won the double. Injuries blighted his career in Munich, however, and Jansen switched to Hamburg, where he spent the next 7 years. He made nearly 200 appearances for HSV and reached 45 Germany caps, but couldn't shake off the fitness issue, and reluctantly the club decided not to renew his contract in 2015. Just 29, Jansen had multiple offers to stay in the Bundesliga, but instead retired from the game, saying, "I will always love Hamburg. I can't just suddenly kiss another badge now." Defender, Bob Paisley. Liverpool legend Bob Paisley joined the club at 20 years old and went on to spend 44 years with Liverpool. A left half, the 1930s equivalent of a fullback, Paisley played more than 200 games at Anfield and won the league title. After he retired, he became the club physiotherapist under visionary manager Bill Shankly, and before long was Shankly's trusted advisor on tactics. Together, the men pioneered new training methods, moving away from the tough running and athletics favoured in England at the time and encouraging players to practice touch and movement with the ball. When Shankly retired, Paisley became Liverpool manager, and he went on to surpass his mentor. Liverpool won 6 titles and 3 European Cups in the 9 years Paisley was there at the helm, making him one of just 2 coaches, along with Carlo Ancelotti, to have lifted Europe's greatest prize 3 times. To this day, only Pep Guardiola has bettered Paisley's record of 20 trophies in 9 seasons. Midfielder, Tito Vilanova. Catalan-born, like most talented youngsters, Francesco Tito Vilanova ended up in the Barcelona Academy, where he met and befriended a teenage Pep Guardiola. Pep went on to great success with the Blaugrana first team, but Tito failed to make the grade and spent most of his career in the Segunda Liga. He never lost his love for Barca though, and was reunited with Pep as a coach, when the duo took over Barcelona B, guiding them to promotion from the Spanish 4th Division. After just 1 year, they were thrown into the deep end, managing the senior team, and when his friend quit the Camp Nou in 2012, Tito was appointed as Pep's successor. However, Vilanova was diagnosed with parotid gland cancer, and saw his single season in charge of Barca interrupted by hospital time. Despite this, his side won the league, equaling the La Liga record tally of 100, and losing just 8 games in all competitions. Always loyal to the club, Tito resigned, saying he couldn't do the job properly, and sadly, he died a year later at 45. Midfielder, Diego Simeone. Diego Simeone has twice made his name at Atletico Madrid, once as a tough tackling defensive midfielder, and now as a brilliant tactician. The Argentinian spent 2 spells at the Vicente Calderón as a player, appearing more than 150 times for the Rojiblancos, and winning the double with the club in 1996. After Cholo left, the club went through 7 managers in 6 years, their only major silverware coming in the 2010 Europa League. But Simeone's return halfway through the 2011-12 campaign catapulted Atleti back to the top. In under 3 years, they won 5 trophies, including La Liga in 2014, and have reached 2 Champions League finals. Unsurprisingly, Simeone became a hot property, with Chelsea and the Argentinian national team both trying to recruit him. However, he turned down offers to leave and looks set to oversee Atleti's move to a new stadium in 2017. Midfielder, Francesco Totti. Across the entire football world, there are just 15 players who are still with the club they joined in the last millennium, but none of them can match the dedication of Francesco Totti. The Roman native could have made our team in almost any position in midfield or attack, and is an icon to the eternal city. He's been with the side for 25 years, 3 years longer than any other current footballer. The forward has played nearly 800 games for Roma and netted more than 300 goals, including 250 in Serie A, making him the league's second highest goalscorer of all time. He became Roma captain in 1998 at 22 years old, meaning he has been captain of the club longer than Kylian Mbappe and Gianluigi Donnarumma have been alive. Despite his versatility and world-class talent, Totti has just won Scudetto, his greatest honour being a World Cup win with the national team. Now 40, Totti has admitted that if he left the Stadio Olimpico, he would have won more trophies. But Il Gladiator has no regrets, saying my greatest triumph is my loyalty to Roma. Forward, Alessandro Del Piero. Alex Del Piero is arguably Juventus' greatest player ever. Some accolade at a club which has seen Platini, Ferrara and Zidane pull on the shirt. The little striker joined the Bianconeri at 19 and spent 19 years at the side, setting club records for appearances with 705 and goals with 290. Del Piero captained the Old Lady for 11 years and won 6 titles and the Champions League. In 2006, when the Calciopoli scandal saw Juve drop to Serie B, Del Piero stayed and helped the team return to the top flight, while Thuram, Cannavaro, Ibrahimovic and Vieira all jumped ship. Asked why, he said, "A true gentleman never leaves his lady." When he eventually did leave after an unbeaten campaign in 2012, the club offered to retire the famous number 10 shirt in his honour, but Del Piero refused, saying that he wanted young Juve fans to grow up dreaming of wearing it. Forward, Kenny Dalglish. One of just 5 men to win the Premier League as a player and manager at the same club, Kenny Dalglish was a brilliant forward, winning 10 titles across a career spent entirely with Celtic and Liverpool. He also lifted the European Cup on 3 occasions, and in 1985, when manager Joe Fagan retired from the Reds, Dalglish took up the unusual position of player-manager. It was a huge success. Dalglish coached the club to the double in his first season, and went on to win another 2 from the bench. Despite his desire to play, he put himself in the starting lineup just 21 times during his debut campaign, preferring to give minutes to talented youngsters instead. He departed with a 61% win rate, but returned 20 years later in 2011 when the Reds found themselves in trouble. Though he'd lost that title-winning spark, Dalglish won the League Cup and signed a promising attacker called Luis Suarez for the side. I wonder where he is today. Forward, Raul. During the first Galactico era, as Real Madrid had their pick of the world's finest players, one hometown boy was always assured of his place in the team. Raul was with the club from the time he was 15 until he was 33, becoming one of just 18 footballers to play 1,000 professional games, with 741 of those coming from Madrid. He scored 323 goals in Spain, more than any Madrid player bar Ronaldo, and won 16 trophies, including 3 Champions Leagues. Not only a clever and lethal striker, Raul was a leader, captaining Real for 7 years until he finally left for Schalke in 2010. Now retired, Raul has said he would only return to Spain to work for Real Madrid, and he's been mooted as future coach and even president of the club. Not bad for a guy who started out in Atletico Madrid's academy.
So we hope you enjoyed that, and if you want to check out more of our videos, then click here on screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe and get on our Snapchat and our Twitter.